So yeah, I welcome you all for the second webinar of today's webinar series. So in the morning, Dr. Naina Patel has conducted a first webinar. She discussed about like various aspects in civil engineering. She also discussed about the job perspective and all, the various disciplines in civil engineering and all. It is covered in the morning session. So in the second webinar, I will be discussing about the our new construction industry, like how the construction industry is changing from last 2 years. So the title of the webinar is Building Information Modeling, a virtual construction intelligence system. So this particular webinar, it is for those who want to pursue BTech in civil engineering, and also it is for those BTech students also who want to pursue their career in MTech in construction management also. And again, so basically it's all about application of various technologies in a construction. So as I told you before, it's a second webinar on today's webinar series. So we're organizing by Department of Civil Engineering from Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore. So basically, we all know that. So we know when you think about construction industry or construction projects in general, like even in layman language, everyone thinks about using a lot of equipments. We require a lot of manpower. We require a lot of what is that physical activities. And you can see in the bottom picture how it looks. It's not that smooth, right? So as a class 12 student who want to pursue BTech in civil engineering, he or she might think that after 4 years, if I get a job in this particular area, so how will I perform? Like he or she may think it's I have to work in the site, I have to work in the field in a hot sun, and like how to deal with that. And like there are a lot of a lot of misconceptions or myth is going on beyond this, and I want to clear that myth basically. So that's the main objective of this webinar, is to create awareness about other type of a job which happens before you start the project. It's called it's a design job or planning job, where various type of jobs which happens before you start a project. That's all about today's webinar. And also, and due to COVID, maybe what happened is progress was a little decreased. Every company or every industry got affected with COVID. Otherwise, if there is no COVID, in 2019 only, our Indian government has predicted that the size of the construction industry is expected to be USD 1 trillion by 2030. And also, construction is poised to become the largest employer by 2024. That is another vision, basically, another target. So to reach to the target, we required around 4 million construction engineers on an average over the next decade. So that's the taken from one of the news channel India Today in 2019, basically. So by the but again, due to COVID, it got shifted slightly by 2025. But so what I can say is that there is a lot of growth. There is a lot of requirement is there in terms of jobs in construction industry. But again, when I talk about construction industry, it's not. I'm not talking about the side jobs. Like I'm not talking about that where you have to work on sites. I'm talking about white collar jobs. Also, there is a other startup, basically other company, other consultant. They find out a lot other different industry trends. Like they listed out top 10 construction industry trends and innovation in 2022. I mean present year. So the article is prepared long back. It is prepared. I think they published the article in 2019 again. So they listed out few very various trends. Starting with building information modeling is one of the future trend in construction industry, which I'm going to discuss in this webinar. Then we have construction robotics. It's nothing but automation of the what is that industry. Basically, it's all about using automated machines without help of any manpower. Then we have construction project management. We have MTech in construction project management. Separately, there's a course on that which involves application of various management principles in construction. Then advanced building materials or alternate building materials. Then offsite construction, construction worker safety, construction monitoring, green building. 3D printing is another what I can say emerging area. I think in IT matters also you can find out that they have also did one project on that. They have built one like a 2 BHK building using a 3D printing machine. Then we have a connected construction site which deals with application of AI, data science, machine learning techniques. So what you can see from this slide that many people are not aware about this. So what you're seeing is it's completely a new industry. I can say that. So in this webinar, I'm discussing only on the first one, which is building information modeling. It's a platform which helps us to develop a virtual models. And there is another consultant firm, which is a McKinsey. They also created the top 5 trends that will shape construction and capital projects, starting with higher definition surveying and geolocation. Then you have next generation 5D building information modeling, which I will discuss in this webinar. Then future-proof design and construction. Then Internet of Things in advanced analytics. So again, here it's all about data science applications in the construction industry. Then digital collaboration mobility. This is all about again a connection between the different people, how the technology can be used to communicate with others in better manner. So there are 5 different trends they have predicted, and you can see the title here in the center. So generally, when you talk about construction, we call normally construction organization, construction project, construction industry. But you can see that other noun is given like a digital construction industry or digital construction organization. So the digital, it's the future basically. That's what I'm trying to say. The digitalization or the digital transformation is happening in this in our industry basically. And it started 2 years before only, but maybe by another 3-4 years, by the time you people graduate, especially class 12 students who want to pursue BTech in civil engineering. So by the time you graduate in the BTech, or even for MTechs also, for even the BTech, even if a BTech graduate want to pursue MTech in construction management in the upcoming academic year. So by the time they graduate MTech, then you will find this complete organization in different organization. I mean, you will be getting opportunities in this sector like anything. Like this is the very high demand we have in our industry. So again, this is another consulting firm, World Economic Forum, Boston Consulting Group. They also created again top 10 trends. It's more like similar to the previous slide, but I want to just prove that there are a lot of companies already started implementing this technology. So again, from this slide also, what you can understand that I'm talking about the application of technologies. So when I say technology, we generally think about computer science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, branches, some other branches. But in what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of requirement we have to apply the same technology even in construction industry. So as a civil engineer, if you can learn these technologies, and you will be better to apply these techniques in construction industry, because you will be understanding what is the construction. As civil engineers, you will be knowing better how to apply than if I give the same job to any CSE or artificial intelligence or data science engineer, they cannot apply well. So that's what I want to say. Again, so there are a lot of new future job skills are created by McKinsey. Again, you can see on the right hand side, like starting with digital collaboration, then back office works. So back office something is that you're not in the site, you're not working in the project in the site directly, but you are working in the office, more like your office. What is it? White collar jobs. Then on-site execution also there, where exactly you are working in the site. But again, I think there are around, you can see here, there are around 37 job skills required by industries, predicted by industry, they're listed by industry. So what industry is trying to say that the students basically they should be aware of all these skills in their BTech and also in their MTech level. Again, you cannot master in every skill, but you can see that here on the left hand side. If I talk about 15, see that shape of this circle. 15 is nothing but building information modeling. So it clearly tells that it's one of the major job field or major field or one of the top skill where you need to you need to build up. And there are many other things. You can say number 20, it's a document management, which involves managing the various documents. Nothing but using some technology, like if you're talking about tabs, if you're talking about smartphones, using those various smartphones, you can actually manage the documents better way. Basically, it's all about paperless work. So like that, you can see many things are there. Interestingly, you can also see that there are many things. For example, 16. It is nothing but contract management. Then you have 3D printing. Then you have this artificial intelligence, machine learning. So there are many things, many job skills are there when it comes to the construction industry, which are yet to take place. In this presentation, I will discuss the virtual construction. And if you remember the title, it's a building information modeling. In short form, it is called BIM. So which again, it's a virtual construction intelligence system. So I will be discussing about the virtual construction world basically. So as you can see in the slide, what is happening is it's the person is holding a smartphone, and you can see the city is there lying on the smartphone. So what is the meaning of this is using in the future, again maybe not exactly now, but maybe after 3-4 years or even after 5 years, you can use your smartphone to build your project. So that's the level of technology it's going to happen in our industry. And the question arises, who will do this job? Obviously the undergraduates, then all the postgraduates. It's a students has to do this job again. So that's what this civil engineering is all about. It's completely different now. So I will be discussing about this one, exactly what it is meaning. What is the meaning of this? What is a virtual construction? I will discuss all those things. Now, what is the benefit of going with this field and why it is important? That also I will discuss. And this also, like if you talk about virtual construction, it's all about doing all the practices with using some technology. So what you're seeing in this slide, it's basically a construction site. And if you remember the first slide, I showed you the real picture where you have a labor, a lot of workforce is there, you have equipments, you have a lot of material lying on the ground, right? The same picture only, but what you can see in this is you can see that some technology everywhere there is a technology. So, for example, site sensors. We have this tabs here, right? We have the connectivity between the each systems, and everyone using some tab to communicate with the equipment, to communicate with others, to operate some work. Everyone, even see the robot right now. You see one equipment is there. It's nothing but some type of excavator. It is operating without any human. So again, you have also many things like that. What is the meaning of these things? Even the documents. So what is the meaning of this? What all work you are doing, you will be transferring all the documents to the cloud so that anyone can access the documents. So again, drones also there. Drones are mainly for taking the snapshot of the project to monitor the project. If you're someone who is very far away from the project and he want to check the what is happening, he want to check the real status, then drones really help in that way, right? So what you can see, this is all about virtual world or virtual construction, where you are using a set of technologies to execute the project. So there are many other benefits out there. No, you can see in this slide presently. What you're seeing is all these buildings and all, which is already executed, already built. The building is already completed. But suddenly I want to bring one highway here. I want to start a metro project. I want to bring something here, some type of transport system. It can be highway, it can be metro, it can be underground, anything. So directly I cannot go to the site and start the work, but I want to check the feasibility, right? So to do that, I can use a technology called again virtual construction, where you can see that virtually I am able to build this. It's a virtual model. It's not a real model, but I'm trying to place the virtual model in this and checking whether it is feasible or not. Again, when it comes to the virtual model, again, there are many things are there, not only just building information modeling. It's not only just about software, but you can see here, it's the application of artificial intelligence, then some software systems like BIM, then also autonomous construction equipments like automated equipments can help to replace the most of the manual work of the work. That's all about virtual construction or virtual world. So, but in this presentation, I'm talking about only the BIM part, not the other areas here. So when I talk about virtual construction, it's again like I'm just giving different examples here. So you can see on the left hand side, it's on. So when you are talking about virtual construction, it's not only about new buildings. It's also you can also apply this virtual concept in existing buildings. So you can see on the left hand side there is one building here, one room is there. So I want to renovate this building. I want to improve some features in this building. So what I've done is using this set of technology. There are like, for example, we have laser scanning technology. We have point cloud technology. Using that, I can rebuild this entire room virtually. Then after doing that, I have placed the doors and all. You can see on the right hand side, the same room is scanned here. It's a 3D scan again. It's not a 2D. After that, I have placed. You can see the many things are placed here. Some other features. Some door is placed here. Some pipelines are placed here. Some hangers are there. Then I'm cross-checking whether it is feasible or not. How it looks. That's all about virtual model again. So all this done before you start the project again. It is not done after completing a project or during the project, but everything is done before you plan to do the real work on this site, on the field. Another snapshot here. You can see on the left hand side there is a person standing in the empty layout. It's just having a structure with the columns and beams and the slabs. And you can see on the right hand side there is a smartphone is there. He's taking a snapshot, taking a picture of the person. And you can see in this picture basically you will see that everything is already completed. I mean there is a virtual model is there which is built in the smartphone, and you can see that the person is standing in that virtual model. So this also will help us to understand how it will look in the future before you start working on that. That's the purpose of virtual construction. This is another field. You can see the person is standing right now. He's holding a tab and there is no structure in front of him, but he already built the structure virtually, and he's just came to the field and he's checking how it will look like. I mean, when I say how it will look like, it is not again in layman language I'm talking about, because it's very, we will not follow what if I use any technical words, but you will do many things. You can do many things. You can do some analysis. You can do some loading and structural analysis. You can do some cross checks. You can do safety analysis. You can also do some costing. You can also do some simulations. You can do many other analysis. You can also do some energy analysis. So we can do many things in virtual world. But as of now, what you can see that a person is holding a virtual model, and which is going to happen in future, and he's just checking how it will look like. So what I'll do is I'll play one small few seconds video. You can see here also the person is standing in the city, in the busy city area. So in front of the tab, the contractor want to build a very tall building, and it's already built in virtually. So before they start the project, they want to check how it will look like. So you can see this snapshot. Let's see a few seconds video. So it's very clear that that tall building, it's not there, but it's already built virtually, and they're trying to locate there. They're trying to understand, or they're trying to check the feasibility. And you can see that people are moving here, and it's not affecting that model. I mean, it's like, see the quality, the level of detail required for that. It's all about virtual construction. So again, there are a lot of names, different names are given for virtual construction. Some says digital twins, some talk about, some says augmented reality, then virtual reality. And we also know that there are separate courses, online courses or degree courses are there for augmented reality and virtual reality. Again, construction people say it's BIM. Again, in UK, some countries they call it as zero drawing construction. It means you're building a building without any documents, without any drawings, without any detailing. It's just simple with 3D models. You can straight away start a project without any paperwork, or I can say paperless work. Then again, some other group of people say it is nothing but digital construction. It's nothing but application of digital technologies. Then construction industry 4.0, it's another term it is used. So there are different terms are used to define virtual construction, but in this presentation, I will be using BIM as a term to explain the virtual construction. Again, in the news also, when it comes to India also, it's not only just in other countries, even in India also, you can see a lot of articles already published by various news agencies, starting with Hindu also, then Deccan Chronicle, then you have Geospatial World. There are different organizations in India. So they already, you can see the lot of articles already came into the practice that they are what this article says that there is a lot of demand for application of these virtual technologies. So what it says again is it's for students again. So students should has to develop these skills. I mean you cannot learn everything in your BTech or MTech level, but you should be aware of all those things so that you will be ready for the future jobs. So as the title says in this webinar, it's a building information modeling. So in the short, I call it as BIM. So it's one of the best platform where you can build various visual models. So what you can see in this figure is it's a life cycle of a project. Generally, what happens initially you have to start a programming, means it's not a code, but it says you need to schedule it. You need to plan for the project. You need to identify the various activities involved in the project. You need to set up, you need to design the project. You have to estimate the resources. You need to calculate the cost of the project. You need to do a lot of planning. So once it is done, then you have to develop a concept drawing, a concept model. Then you have to go with a very detailed model. Then you will be doing a lot of analysis, like starting with structural analysis, then energy analysis, then scheduling, then costing. I mean, a lot of analysis we will be doing. Then documentation is very, very important for various reasons, to communicate with other people, even for getting approval from various agencies. You need to document everything. Then once it is approved, then you will start fabricating. Then you will start construction. Then you will also start applying or start procuring the equipments. Then once you complete a project, then you will again have to maintain the building. If you talk about apartments, let's say, there will be a operation engineers will be there, operation staff will be there in your apartments who will operate the building, who will take care of the maintenance. Then once the building becomes old, then finally either you can demolish the building or you can renovate it. So that is called renovation. So that's very standard project life cycle. But what you can see, what this figure implies is, you can see the word here, visualization. You can visualize everything here. All the stages you can visualize, not only one particular stage, starting with the design, analysis, even the construction also, simulation, how the project will start, how the project will execute, how the building will rise during construction. You can also do that, and you can also model. You can digitally model the equipments. You can see how the equipments can move in the project before even starting the project. Not during the project, but even before you start the project, you can complete all these stages virtually. That's all about BIM basically. So BIM is one of the platform which can enable anyone to build virtual models. So as per L&T also, it's a very old slide. I have taken this slide, this sentence and all long back, I think around 2016 or 17. At that time only L&T said L&T, you know, it's one of the, it's a top one, number one, we can say number one company in this construction company in India, and also one of the top 5 or top 10 in Asia also. So what they say is that BIM is a new construction language. It's a universal solution for all the design and construction problems. So even the company is also aware of this. It's not that, but what is happening is, what I can see nowadays, that the students, especially who in the beginning, like who are in the class 12, or even their parents also, they are not aware of all this technology which can be useful in construction industry. Everyone thinks about construction is like a more like, you know, hard collar, like what is it, how to work in the field. It's not like that. But we have a lot of white collar jobs where we need to apply a lot of technology to improve the performance of the projects. So, but why this industry, why the Indian or even in general, why the construction industry is interested in BIM for virtual construction? What is the main reason for going with this technology? Why BIM? Why virtual construction? Why everyone is interested in this technology now from past 2-3 years? Why? Because there are 6 benefits are there. You can see each benefit. If you are using this virtual construction technologies, what will happen? You can reduce your project by, you can reduce your project duration by 33%. You can reduce your cost, not only just construction cost, also your whole life cycle cost by 33%. You can also reduce a lot of rework. So what happens is, if you don't plan like this, if you don't plan well, you will end up doing a lot of mistakes in real world, in real project. Then you have to stop the work, you have to demolish, you have to remove some of the, you have to demolish, you have to break some components, you have to rebuild it. So you will be doing a lot of rework. So around 36% can be saved if you're using these virtual models or if you're using BIM. It also helps us to increase the labor productivity by 43%. Then also greenhouse gases. We know that this is one of the major issue currently we have in the world. Now every company, in every government, not only India, all the countries now they're focusing on reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. So if you're actually using these virtual models, you can try to identify where you can minimize these emissions. So you can reduce up to 50% of the gases. That's the best part of this. Then last, you can also reduce around 64% of document errors. Document means doing all the paperwork. Basically, you're using Excel, Words. You will do a lot of work. You have to type a lot of things. You have to prepare on daily basis. You need to prepare a lot of reports. So you will doing a lot of mistakes. Again, you have to redo the work every day. So you can also minimize those errors up to 64% if you are using BIM for the virtual construction. So I will just show some other aspects of BIM. So when I say visualization, this is how it looks. So what you're seeing is inside of the building. It's basically a plant room of a commercial building. So plant room means nothing but it has a set of equipments, pipelines and all to provide cool environment in the structure. Means it helps us to provide, for example, it's basically a heating, ventilation and air conditioning system, or there are many other systems are there here, which will help us to operate the building. Means they help us to regulate the temperature in the building. If you want warm, if you want cool in the building, cool environment, it will help us to provide that. But for that you need to install many things, right? So what you can see here, it is not a started, the project is not started, but I have built everything virtually. So now I can even walk through into this model. I can check everything, whether it is correct or not, whether it is properly installed or not, whether I can also check whether any pipeline is hitting with other pipelines. So those things also can be visualized. And if I find any issues, then I can resolve now only in digital model. Then in the real projects, I will not have that type of errors. So that is an example. For example, you can see in this. So there is a one column is there, vertical structure is there, and we have a horizontal structure. So vertical part is nothing but I section steel channel, and horizontally there is a one beam is coming. So what you can see from this is this red color beam or red color structure. These two structures getting collided virtually basically. And here also you can see the pipeline is going inside this beam, and on the right hand side also you can see this pipeline is touching the beam. So what is the meaning of this is? This is if you don't identify these mistakes before you start the project, you will end up doing a lot of rework in the real projects. Just imagine if you find these mistakes in the projects, real projects, then what will happen? You have to stop the work. You have to remove, again, you have to keep all the manpower in idle stage, and you lose a lot of money. If you even delay your project by 1 day, you will lose more money. Like you can also lose up to 30 to 40 lakhs per day if you're delaying the project. So you can avoid all those errors if you are applying this BIM technology. So you can see there are more examples I'm showing. You can see on the left hand side there are pipelines hitting each other. There are pipelines, the channels, cable trays. I mean there are. We will have if you just see any commercial building like hospitals, metro projects, any other shopping malls and all, you will find a lot of pipelines, cable trays, electrical pipelines, electrical conduits, electrical wirings, plumbing pipelines, fire pipelines. So many things will be actually installed at the ceiling level. So if you don't install properly, they will collide each other and it will affect the performance of the building. It will also increase the cost. So you can, using this, if you are building this all this virtually before you start the project, you can identify these errors. So BIM is all about that. It will help us to identify major errors in the project. So you can see on the left hand side before you resolving. So once you build it digitally, you came to know that these pipelines are hitting these HVAC ducts. Basically, they are called air ducts. So you can see on the right hand side now it is not happening. Everything is it's free. They are not. There is no clash. There is no conflict. So you can avoid these things. You can resolve all these things. Then you start the project. Then you will not have any problem when you are actually starting the project. So all this can be done virtually before you start the project. So when it comes to the BIM, there are various dimensions we have, but at entry level, we should know about these 3 dimensions, starting with 3D. On the left hand side, what you see 3D is nothing but 3D model. I think everyone knows what is 3D model, how it do. So 3D model help us, it will give more clarity as compared to the 2D model. Then on the second side, in the second dimension is nothing but 4D model. So 4D model is all about time, like time simulation. It helps us to identify, it helps us to determine the timeline. It helps us to determine the duration of project. Like how much time I have to take to start a project, to complete a project. What is the timeline? So how it looks, how it works. Like for example, you can see the equipment is standing. There's a tower crane which is installed in the building, and you want to know how it will rotate, how it will affect the building. If I rotate on left hand side, whether it will hit something. If I rotate on right hand side, whether it will hit something. You know. So you can simulate everything. That's called 4D. Basically, it's just a timeline. Basically, it's a time dimension. And 5D is all about costing. You can actually calculate, you can easily calculate all the cost required to complete a project. But all these things happening virtually again. It's all happening with the help of a 3D model again. So 4D and 5D, they are derived from 3D model. So 3D model is very basic. What is a basic requirement? You have to build the 3D model, then only you can do go to the other dimensions. So there are huge number of companies out there in India itself who are supplying a lot of softwares to build these virtual models, starting with Autodesk, then you have Bentley, then you have Synchro. Even there are other softwares, like you can see here on the right hand side, Dropbox, MS Excel, Microsoft Project, Google Drive. So these type of softwares help us to document management. Then you have for cost management, there are a set of softwares out there. So for construction management, there are again a set of software. So what I'm trying to say, there are n number of softwares which are already in market. So even the companies, construction companies, even the technology, the companies which provide technology, everyone is aware of the benefits of this. The gap is the students, the engineers are not available to do this work. That's the gap right now we have, which we need to fill it within another 2-3 years. So you'll be learning many things like in the BTech, again in MTech also you can pursue, you can learn of many softwares like this and you can apply, you can even in the project works also you can start applying this concept. So this is all about introduction to the BIM, which is one of the virtual construction platform which help us to manage the project in intelligent manner. So for further remaining slides, what I will do is I will just show some projects. I'll just show some snapshots. I will not discuss too much into technical details because the purpose of webinar is to create some awareness. It's not a technical webinar where I have to discuss many things like too much into depth because it is mainly the purpose of webinar is mainly for class 12 students or it is for BTech undergraduates also who want to pursue MTech. So, but I don't want to go with too much into technical details because you will not follow unless you join here and start learning in the course. So what you're seeing is this is a project Rand Selva Bridge in Norway. Not here, not in India. And it's one of the it's a world largest bridge of 634 meter, which is completely built on BIM. Means it completely built virtually. They did not use any drawings, any documents to do this project. You can see it on the title. I have mentioned here zero drawing construction. They call it like that. They don't call as a virtual construction. They call it as zero drawing construction. So what you're seeing in this is completely virtual model, right? You can see the gray area is all the surface basically. It's concrete. And if you want to see the inside of that gray area, inside of the concrete, you can see the reinforcement details. Reinforcement is nothing but steel basically. And we all know that generally any building required 2 major materials. One is concrete and another one is steel. So what is happening in this particular thing is you can visualize everything. You can also see the truck. It's not static basically. I don't have a video, but it's the truck is moving on that bridge and they are trying to virtually they're trying to analyze the dynamic loads. They're trying to check whether this building is feasible or not, whether it is safe or not. You see, there is a person standing here. It's virtually they are assuming, they are trying to accommodate the space. They are thinking like they are visually, they are analyzing if a person stands there and if we try to take the snapshots, if we try to monitor the project, it is safe or not. So you can see many things can be done virtually. So they completely use the BIM and they completely build entire bridge virtually. So you can go inside of the bridge. You can, like I told you, you can do the walkthrough. Basically, you can see the bridge from the outside. You can also go inside of the building and you can check all the details. So all this done before you start the project. So what happens if you want to change anything, you can change easily now only. That's the purpose of this virtual construction. So you can do your project better. You can plan your project better. You can monitor your project better. Finally, you can save a lot of cost. You can save a lot of money in the end. But current status of this bridge, if you see this is actually taken, I think 6 months back. If you see the current status of this bridge project, you can see how it's there. It is just started. It is maybe not even 6 months old, maybe. So you can see now currently what is happening is they just started building up piers with the foundation. But virtually everything is built already. They have entire model with them. On their just tab, they can visualize the entire bridge even before you start the project. So what happens? For them it is very clear how to proceed with the work, how it will look like after completing project. Say there will be no error also. It has to they have to work on daily basis. They have to complete the project within a given time. They are planning to wind up within 1.5 years this project. But what you can see in the previous slide, it's already built virtually. Now they are building actually. So they know everything about the project virtually before even they start the project. And what's happened is finally it will give better quality, better you can complete your project without any errors, without any issues. When it comes to India, then we have it's already applied. Various companies already started applying this BIM in India, starting with Personal Rapid Transport System in Amritsar, Bengaluru International Airport, Nagpur Metro Rail Corporation. They are also like Nagpur Metro project also utilized the BIM. The DMRC also, Delhi Metro project also started utilizing the BIM benefits. Then nowadays the Agra and Kanpur Metro project, which is recently started, also they started utilizing BIM. Then not only for like I told earlier, the BIM is not only used for constructing a new building, it is also used for renovation works. So can you see that Central India's Gwalior railway station is also renovated using BIM. And when it comes to the building, so when you say BIM, generally people started applying in buildings. So in hospitals, shopping malls, office throughout the India, there are a lot of projects are there. More than 50 projects already applied the BIM. And I don't have what is the details because it's confidential. Companies don't share the details, but I have a few snapshots. So you can see on the left hand side, it's Bengaluru International Airport. Again, it's a virtual model. On the right hand side, again, it's a renovated railway station at Gwalior. So again, what you're saying is these pictures are not static again. They are simulated again. Actually, we don't have video here, but you can simulate. You can go inside into the model. You can virtually visualize everything. Again, on the left hand side, Nagpur Metro Station it is. On the right hand side, we have therapy center, is hospital, therapy center. So you can see the level of detailing they did virtually. So it takes a lot of time again. It's not easy. I can say that it's a very tough job. It's a white collar job. It's a Monday to Friday job. You will paid high, like everything is fine, but it takes a lot of time. It requires a lot of knowledge on technology to apply this. So now what I will do is I will just show some project works, BIM project works executed by students at in our university. So I will just show the snapshots again of each project. It is done by BTech undergraduate or students, also PG students in our campus, in our university. So from last 2 years, we started working on these projects. So the various people who have applied this BIM, who are students applied the BIM in their project works, they also got a job. There is one person called Kishore who used the BIM. I will show that. So this is the first one. So this is one of the project they did in BTech 6th sem. In 6th semester we have mini project. So his name is Kishore. He actually built this 3D model. He did many other things, which I will show later. And he got a job in Atkins. It's one of the top consultancy firm in India. And he got a job in that company as a BIM engineer. So he never imagined that. He never dreamed also. But I told him that you start applying this technology in your BTech level, you can secure a job later. But it's finally happened. He is currently working as a BIM trainee. Within another 6 months, he will become a BIM engineer. So it's one of the projects. What you can see in this is a snapshot. Basically, it's a 3D model of apartments, and it's the software called Autodesk Revit 2020. This is another project that did by other group of students in the BTech. So they built a shopping mall basically. This is the purely architectural work. Basically, it is not a what is that construction work. It's a purely architectural design. So, but you can see the level of detailing again here. It looks very nice also, but it is mainly for marketing purpose and all. It will be useful. You can see there is a small animation is there. So it's very helpful for real estate projects. Especially if you talk about in Bengaluru, you have companies like Soba, Real Estate Brigade, Prestige. Again, in Delhi, you have many other companies, right? Every state has a very different type of real estate companies, so they can use these type of animations for publicity. So this is another project model. It's a hospital project. It is done by MTech student. This is a real project. Real in the sense it's this is a hospital project. It is executed in Andhra Pradesh. So this project is already completed. Now what he did is he went to that project. He sat there for 3-4 months and he built this entire virtual model, and he tried to compare. If you use BIM, what benefits you will get, and if you don't use BIM, what benefits you will miss. Then he finally compared a project with 2D and 3D or virtual and non-virtual, and finally he found out around like there are a lot of benefits are there. Like whatever benefits I mentioned in the beginning of slides, he validated that benefits. Another project also executed by students at BTech level. It's a commercial office building. So you can see it's a very what is it? It's in terms of size and all, it's very big. In this project, especially this student has taken a lot of effort to build this model. So you can see it is a structural model. You can see the columns are there, slabs are there, and one more thing is this. I'm showing a snapshot only. But what happens? You can go into this model. You can rotate the model. You can get any detail, whatever detail you want, you can get it. So you will get 100% information from these models. But if you go with the 2D plan, like what I showed in the left hand side, you cannot get all the details. You will miss a lot of information. It will not give you the proper clarity. But if you want to go with, when you go with the 3D models, virtual models, you will get every detail in that model. So he went, like I told, he did many things. Like you can see in this slide, what you're seeing is it's a connection of the various ducts, AC ducts. If you go to any mall, any hospital, you will have centralized AC, right? So that is coming through the ducts, nothing but pipelines in layman language, which are installed at the ceiling level. So he did even the modeling for that. It's 3D modeling. What you're seeing in the left hand side, on the right hand side. On the left hand side is a 2D model. There's a firefighting model, which is there inside the building. When firefighting is mainly for it supplies the water in the event of fire. So he also modeled firefighting models. And this is the electrical model. Electrical model includes the wires and all, conduits, cables for providing electricity. Even that also he modeled in the same building. So you see how detailed it is done. So virtually everything is built already before you start a project. And this one is a plumbing layout, which involves your washrooms and all, pipelines, drainage pipelines, everything. Then finally, what happened? He basically integrated all the models together again to put together. So this is the final finished model. And like I said, in the one other slide, the same student also utilized BIM for identifying the mistakes in the modeling. What you can see on the left hand side, you can see the layout is different here. You can see here the pipeline is hitting the wall, whereas here it is not happening like that. So he changed the model. So you can identify these mistakes before you start the project. This is another interesting model. You can see on the top line there is a ducts passing here, which are hitting the slab, whereas here there is clear the slab, this clashes. This is very clear. You can see on the left hand side there is a wall coming here, but but you want to pass a pipeline into this wall, but there is another wall which is coming here. So what happened in the left hand side? Sorry, in the right hand side, he removed that wall. So this is what happens if this is all virtually done. So there is no loss of money. There is no loss of maybe some time you have to take, but you're not losing any investment. But if the same issue happens in the project, then you have to remove that wall. You have to damage that wall. You have to again stop the work. You will lose a lot of money. Like I told earlier, if you talk about any project which is costing more than 200 crores, if you delay your project even by one day, you will lose up to 30 to 40 lakhs per day. So it's not cheap. Like so, you can avoid that expenses if you are applying this BIM or if you are going with virtual construction. This is another type of snapshot, another type of analysis. Again, this is also nothing but a clash analysis. You can see on the right hand side, left hand side, everywhere. On the below, you can see there is a pipeline hitting the door, above the door. So it has to be changed. So what happens is this BIM platform help us to identify these mistakes. So that's why in the title I have kept intelligence word. It's BIM is nothing but it's a virtual construction intelligence system. Means it without our effort only. We're not doing this. It's software automatically. It is identifying the mistake. It is telling us that there is a error here. You have to rectify it. That's why it is called intelligent model. Intelligent model we say. Again, it's the term taken from artificial intelligence. So whatever I shown in this projects is you may be thinking all about modeling and all, but I did not show some analysis. There are various type of analysis can be done. I am showing only one type of analysis, which is nothing but a 4D simulation, which shows the timeline of a project. When you start a project and till end of the project, you can see the simulation. So I will just play this small video, which is exported from the software called Navisworks Autodesk product. So I'll just play this small video. So what you can see is on the left hand side, you can see there are some data you can see here. It shows for every floor as a building moves up, it is showing for every floor what is the cost you need to pay, how much time it takes every floor, how much time it is taking for each floor, how much labor cost I need to spend, how much money I need to spend for equipment. Everything is calculated already and it is simulated here. So what I'm doing, what actually I did is when I'm playing this video before, so I moved the model. You can see that how the model is moving. Wherever you want, you can check. It's not static. In dynamic only, you can visualize the model. You can also go inside the model. But if I do that, you cannot. It is not clear in the video. So I did not do that, but I will show another video also. So what you can see is the building is going up. It is actually building up. And on left hand side, you can see the timeline also. You can see when the project is started, when project is going to end. You can see the cost also. You can also see the progress of the work, how much project work is completed. And you can stop any time and you can check whether it is proper or not. So what happens is this video can be compared with the actual work. So when you're starting your project, you can check this virtual simulated model with the actual model. So you can also rebuild it from the actual conditions. You can also rebuild it. You can modify it. So this is a building. What you see in this? This is the outer part of the building, but internal part you did not see. Internally also what happens? The pipelines, all the pipelines which I shown earlier, your air conditioning pipeline, fire pipeline, your plumbing pipeline, a lot of pipelines, electrical lines and all required to be installed in the building, right? That also simulated here. So what I done is I hidden these external walls. Now we'll play the same video, same model video, but I will show the internal part of the building. So it's the same model, but I'm showing the internal part. So internally, again, what happens? You will see how the pipelines are installed. But again, it's a 2-year project. So I cannot simulate 2-year project now. So we cannot sit for 2 years, right? So what I done is I scaled down to some 30 seconds. So what happens is you cannot see everything, but what you can see is inside part of the building, all the pipelines getting installed. I mean, this is how the project will be installed in the real project. So you can identify the mistakes. You can also check how much time it is taking, whether it is taking less time, whether it is taking more time. If it is taking more time, you can come back and you can change the layout. You can change the materials. You can apply even better technology. So you can do a lot of things there like that. So you can do all the trail and errors you can do. You can do a lot of mistakes, no problem, because it is a virtual model. It's not a real model. So you will not lose money. Only you will lose some power in the building. You will be using one laptop, a high power laptop, and you require electricity. You require 2-3 people to work on this. That's all. You will not lose much money. But if you identify the mistakes in the real world, you will lose a lot of money. You cannot do any trial and error in the real projects, right? So that's all about virtual construction. So there are sort of softwares are used in all these projects, starting with Excel, also one of the software. Then you have Microsoft Project, then Autodesk Revit for 3D modeling, then Autodesk Navisworks for 4D simulation and all. And there are also other software called Dynamo. It's basically coding software. So when I say coding, I think everyone talks about C++, or Python or MATLAB and all, right? But we have another software which is inbuilt in our Autodesk software, which is a plugin basically. It helps us to code virtually. So I will show what is that. So this is nothing but a coding basically. But it's a model-based visual coding. So just compare with your C++ or Python and all, if you know already. So what happens there? You give the set of text, right? You will have to give the algorithm. You have to do you have to follow the structure, C language structure, right? Which is okay for CSC people, but for a civil engineers we cannot do that. That's why Dynamo came with this new concept called model-based visual coding, where you can code everything visually. So what is the purpose of this software? What is the purpose of this model-based visual coding? Is it helps us to build models without what is that? It helps us to build the repetitive models. Like for example, you can see that I want to build a small wall with some height, with some width, with some thickness. So I can do that using a coding virtually. No need to do it manually. No need to do it by yourself. You can automatically do that. And if you want to build the same wall, let's say 100 number of walls you want to build, you can do it easily within seconds. That's the purpose of Dynamo software. It's one of the model-based visual coding software. Here also you can see that this student in MTech level, he used a lot of coding here for different components, and he built 3D model from the coding only directly. He did not start from the scratch, but with reference with the earlier model with the 2D plan and all, he built a 3D model. So he also used a lot of software, same softwares. You have Dynamo, Revit, all the softwares to execute this project. And there are a lot of things that happened. So you can see he also used MATLAB here. We know what is a MATLAB? It's another coding software, and he used various algorithms like generic algorithm. It's too much into math and all, which I'm not discussing now. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not just modeling. What you see, all this animation and all. Too much analysis will happen inside the models, inside these virtual models, basically. They also worked on this group of people in MTech. They also worked on a prototype. Basically, they want to propose a movable wall partitions in the building. So before going with the prototype, a real prototype, they also build this everything virtually in their BIM platform so that they can assess whether any mistakes are there or not. They can, before they finally go with the fabrication, they build all this in 3D models. So what happens before you start a fabrication of all these components, you can discuss each other. You can show to your superiors, you can show to the fabricator also. Because what happens if any mistakes are there, it can be rectified now only in these models. Rather than after you fabricate, you cannot again change it easily. So another project called Volumetric Model Planning. Basically, it is done by an architect in MTech here. So what he's trying to do it, he want to optimize the space utilization of the building, space basically. Especially for mixed use buildings or commercial buildings, what happens? You require you will be wasting a lot of space. When you say space means nothing but you're in the building, entire volume of the building is utilization. You should not waste it. So he's working on that, and you can see in this model, you can see it requires very high detailing. It's not easy to model as compared to other models which I shown till now. So you can see that he is taking one case study and he's building up a model, and every block you can see every border, all these lines, nothing but a one volume, one model, one element which is trying to optimize it by rearranging the blocks using some optimization algorithm. There are set of algorithms are there which help us to do this job. Again, he also used the same software, and he also done some energy analysis using other software called I60. So this is what happens. You have a building like this on the left hand side. So you can extract all the volumes out and rearrange it to utilize this space, maximum space. So it is not done manually. It's not can be done manually, but you require a set of softwares for that. So this is an ongoing project. It's still going on. This is another one. This is another project where a group of people done internship in one of the BIM consultancies where they tried to build a 3D model from existing buildings. This I told you in the beginning also. So what you're seeing on the top side, this is one of the existing buildings. They've taken a scan of that building using a set of software. You can see on the right hand side, they have put a camera here, and they have taken some snapshots, and they have collected some point cloud data. With the help of that data, they have built a 3D model on the bottom, which is shown here. So it's a virtual 3D Revit building model, which is exactly looking like this existing building. So this is nothing but what is the main purpose is to do the renovation work of the old buildings. If you have old buildings, if you want to change the design of the building, if you want to improve the building, you can build a 3D model of that from the existing building. Again, you can propose some new features in the model, and again you have to go back to the site and build it. This is another structure. You can see on the top, it's an existing model. On the bottom, you see the virtual model. Again, you can see here he has changed the cameras here to take the other areas of the building. So you have to change the cameras. On the right hand side, you can see again he has changed the cameras and he is taking the inside of the building. You can see below there is a virtual model. So what is happening is the reverse engineering, right? You are going back to from the existing data, you are building a virtual model. So whatever I shown in the previous slide, it's you are building a virtual model, then you are going with real project. Whereas here it's reverse. You're taking up a existing building, you're building a virtual model from that. Again, you have to rechange it. What is the purpose of this is you can change this column. You can move this column virtually here and you can see how it happens. Then you go back to the site and you build a wall here. So you can do all those renovations first. You can change the building. Another example, same building, same project again. So that's all about this webinar. It's all about virtual construction. So it's nothing but application of digital technologies. So before I conclude, I just want to say one more thing. So nowadays, I think as a especially class 12 students or even many people are talking about they're showing interest in artificial intelligence, data science, right? There's separate course we have. But there is also a lot of requirement is there in artificial intelligence application in our industries. So what you can see on the here, right? We required to apply. There are a lot of scope is there to apply machine learning, data mining, data visualization, statistics in our area also. But what this slide says that BIM again, so building information modeling, which I covered till now, it becomes a solid foundation for this machine learning or artificial intelligence system basically. So if you learn BIM, you will be easily can learn the artificial intelligence technologies to apply in your projects. So BIM also becomes one of the strong foundation for application of artificial intelligence or take to if you want to really apply any machine learning or any data science concepts in our industry, in our construction industry, then BIM becomes the one of the foundation for this system. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it's instead of going with the course separately, instead of doing a course on AI or data science or computer science separately, if you are taking up this civil engineering course within the 3-4 years, you will be trying to utilize these concepts. Not in the beginning, but in the 6th semester, starting 6th semester, 7th, 8th. Even in MTech also have a course on AI course where we'll teach how to apply the AI concepts. We teach softwares. So there are a lot of students already work on machine learning in artificial intelligence already there. And there are a lot of students already worked in our university. I did not show those projects because that is not part of this presentation. But I just want to add because it is connecting with the BIM. So like I told right previously, we'll be using a lot of softwares to do the build up virtual construction. But if you want to link with the AI or data science, again, we will be linking with other sort of softwares basically here. All the data science softwares will be linking with this. So this is still under research, but by the time you graduate in another 3-4 years, you will start applying this. So there is what I'm trying to say, there are a lot of requirement is there from industry. Even the Python also, you can see the Python is linked with Adobe Revit. You can use the Python for coding a building. You can code a building basically. In order to build manually, you can using a code, you can build a model. So you can see Python is generally it's part of a computer science, but it is linked with our domain, civil engineering domain. So again, that's what about. It's all about technologies. It's all about a lot of softwares you will be learning in your BTech and MTech course. Not in very deep, but you will at least learn the applications so that you will be ready with the jobs. All for today. So I just want to thank you everyone for attending. And so again, so myself, Dr. S.P. Sreenivas Padala, I'm currently assistant professor in Department of Civil Engineering, RUAS Bangalore. And if you want to contact me, you can use this email ID, or if you want to even contact through telephone and all, you can just call the department. Phone numbers and all, everything is given in the website. So if you want to know anything about our curriculum, you can contact me directly also, or you can also contact our head of the department who presented in the webinar 1 presentation in the morning. So I just want to with this, I want to end the meeting. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me now, otherwise I will end the meeting. Okay, then thank you for attending this webinar. And in the future also we will be sharing a lot of webinars from our department, not only in this platform, but in other various webinars, like not only for admission purpose or anything, but even in the future will be even this recorded version also will be shared on YouTube, and it will be uploaded in our website. So you can also access for this to this video if you don't have, like, I know that many people might have not attended because there is no maybe they are not free also, or not maybe not clear to attend or not also, whatever it is, whatever reason it is, but it will be uploaded. It's recorded, so it will be uploaded in the YouTube, other public platforms. So you can go through this video, and I hope that you will take a right decision in taking up our course in BTech in Civil Engineering, or even MTech also. The admission is also open for MTech in the upcoming months. So it's a very good area when it comes to the BIM. It's one of the what I can say highly demand one. So I think someone raised a hand. I don't know who. It's Mania, right? Can you hear me, Mania? I'll just mute.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Sir, I'm Manya.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, tell me,
Hi,
Mania.
sir. So actually, I wanted to be clear. So
Okay,
I had a doubt in my mind that do even civil engineers have ups and downs in their lives in the future, just like the entrepreneurs and other software engineers?
Yeah. So what you're trying to say is I'm trying to understand that you want to know whether there is an up and downs you're talking about, right?
Yeah, in terms of salary or in terms of scope or demand,
Yeah.
like
So that's
how.
what. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I'll just compare. So you know what about software engineer? You know software engineers, computer science, right? What
Yes,
they're doing? What is their job? Basically, it's all about technology. They're using set of softwares to resolve the end user problems. Now, what
correct.
they're doing is they are currently focusing at, for example, all the computer science or even artificial intelligence BTech course. They are aiming for healthcare, shopping, e-commerce, other
Okay.
areas basically. Now, think about our industry, construction industry. Who is going to apply these technologies? The same technology which is covered in CSC. They are not applying here, or I can say they're not capable to apply their concepts, their all the coding and all whatever they're doing. They cannot apply in our industry. Why? Because they don't know anything about industry. So,
Correct.
for example, you are there currently. If you are learning these all the softwares, whatever I shared here, by the time you
Okay.
graduate, let's say you learn and you got a job, and what will happen is you will be doing better than other people, other software engineers in our industry.
Okay.
Again, now if you want again, there are a lot of articles already there in Google. Just type BIM jobs in India, something like that. And you will find
Okay.
a lot of articles. As a proof, I'm telling you will find a lot of articles. Especially in this field, you have a lot of what is the scope in terms of salary, in terms of
Hmm.
that white collar jobs. If you want to work Monday to Friday, let's say no, or
Okay.
the 95 jobs and all. If you want to only work 5 days and all, so this is a job basically because you can see it's completely a white collar job. So, but again, monthly once you need to visit a site, you have to come back.
Okay.
Again, you will have again. That's what I want to say. So, when you talk about technology, if you're using technology, definitely there is in terms of salary, you will be paid more as compared to the other engineers who are depending on the paperwork or who are depending on no field job in that
Okay.
way. So again, that's what. No, if you again cross check, I don't know if you have any contacts in the construction industry also. Like for example, L&T
Hmm.
is there. L&T is a top company in India. So in the last year only they said that they are expecting the civil engineers to apply this technology, not the other domains. They don't want computer science or AI or data science engineers to resolve their problems, to resolve the construction problems. They wanted only civil engineers to learn this technology and come with the what is that? Come to join and resolve the problems. That's one thing.
Okay.
Now, one more thing also there, could not share, I could not show that. I forgot that. You know, AICT, right? AICTE. It's the, or you can see UGC and all. There are government, central government. Basically,
Okay, sir.
it's a, what is that? They are governing bodies, government, who deals with, who approves the course and all. The head of our education, I can say. So recently they
Okay.
are, they are shared some internships in industries, starting with computer science, artificial intelligence, data science. Like they have shown a lot of companies. They are telling that students to apply in that. So in that, what happened in that in construction also they have given some topics like in that one topic is BIM only, BIM, virtual construction,
Okay.
virtual reality. So even the central government also now creating awareness among the students to learn this technology because they are really important. Also, they will pay you more also, and moreover, it is not a what is that? You don't have to go to the field and stay there for 12 hours and work for 7 days. It's a white collar job.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah. So just do one thing after presentation webinar. You just type BIM India, BIM in India, or
Okay.
you just type BIM
Yeah.
construction, BIM in construction in India type. You just use the word India because otherwise it
Hmm.
will show other countries. So you will find more than 30 to 40 articles, news articles coming from Times of
Uh,
India, the Deccan Chronicle, Hindu channel. You will get a lot of evidence
yeah. Yeah.
basically. So there is a lot of requirement is there, but it will take another 3 4 years because of COVID. It got delayed. But if you are joining in
Okay.
BTech or even in MTech also, within 3 4 years you will have these jobs. But already people are working here. As I told you, right? I can
Okay.
also share.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming here, I can also share the contact of BTech students who are doing this job currently in Atkins, and there are
Hmm.
MTech students also who are working in this field. So they are already doing that.
Okay.
What is that? White collar jobs, office jobs, basically in layman language. That's what I want to
Hmm.
say. So
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else? Is it clear, right? Whatever I
Yes,
discussed.
sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. So anyone else? If you have any doubts, I can cover that. No doubts, I can end the meeting. I think Okay, fine. I think there are no doubts here. So in the meeting, but still, if you have any clarity, if you want some more clarity about the curriculum here, you can always contact our department. Either me, you can contact, or any other faculty. Just go through the website, you will get a list of faculty names and all. You can contact me, you can contact HOD, anyone, and we'll clear the doubts. What are the doubts you have, you can clear it before you taking admissions. We'll make sure that we'll make you the better engineer. Like after once at the time by the time of final semester, we can make sure that you will be equipped with digital skills, not just normal skills, but also with the digital skills or virtual skills, which I shown to you. So again, thank you all for attending the meeting, and I'll end the meeting. Thank you.